catastrophic breaking news for those chronically on webtoons.com. One of the most popular and longest running manhwas on the website has been cancelled after allegations of plagiarism have been confirmed by both the author and the platform. If you haven't been living under a rock, I'm sure you're already aware what series this is, and of course it is Windbreaker by Youngseok Jo. If you're not already aware of what the Windbreaker series is about, not to be mixed up with the Japanese one, go watch my video about it, but just to summarize for the sake of this video, Windbreaker is about our main character, Jo Jae-hyun, a diligent second-year high school student who's both at the top of his class and the current student president at Taeyang High. However, despite these accomplishments, the overwhelming weight of expectations of those around him had forced him to become reclusive from everyone, which in effect also kept his absolutely insane talent in cycling hidden from those around him as well. After getting caught flexing his cycling skills by his classmate Yoon Minu, he was swiftly recruited into Minu's biking crew, which he swiftly rejected. One thing leads to another, and now he's competing for his freedom through a high-stakes cycling race where if Jae-jo wins, he gets the crew to leave him alone. Now you're probably wondering how a manhwa with 12 years of runtime, 500 plus chapters, 601 million views, and a whopping 2.3 million followers to suddenly get eviscerated off the platform. And that very reason would be artistic plagiarism. After an extensive internal investigation performed by Naver, the owners of the Webtoon platform, Youngseok Jo has been found to actually be tracing the art of other manhwa artists or other artists in general and retrofitting them to fit the Windbreaker series over the course of multiple years. Now, just to give you guys an idea of what I mean by tracing and sort of the allegations against Windbreaker, we're just gonna move to React mode here. I have some screenshots found by the Windbreaker Manhwa subreddit, all links in the description for any sources I find. Basically what they did was find Windbreaker panels and sort of compared it to other material that probably, let's be honest, blatantly is traced by the artist slash writer of the Windbreaker series. And this first one, it's probably the worst one, but it's still pretty clear that it is traced. It's very similar. But what I want to call attention to is the next few, where as you can see, when comparing and overlaying, it almost flows perfectly with the actual source material here. Once again, this one's pretty bad. Boom. It's almost one-to-one. It's kind of nuts. Just looking at this, the lines line up on the overlay. And then this last one as well, very similar when looking side by side, but when you overlap it, it's almost perfectly identical. Yeah, I kind of get why Naver is sort of canceling Windbreaker when looking at these, to be honest. Moving back to Facecam. After these findings, Naver and Youngseok Jo released official statements, with Youngseok Jo's statement doubling down as an apology, of course, for the plagiarism, and he also announced the conclusion of the Windbreaker series via a manuscript, I believe, that will be posted on his personal blog. As to no surprise, as a Windbreaker fan, this news comes as a bit of a shock and a bit of a disappointment for both myself and the loyal legion of fans that have been following this series for the past 10 plus years. I mean, for a series of this sort of caliber on the same echelon as a lookism in terms of influence, to end in such a abrupt manner is just, you know, it's as disappointing as it gets. Personally, what I loved from the story probably the most is the storytelling and the character writing, where most of the characters are just genuinely endearing and actually relatable in some cases, from the main cast to even the side characters that you see throughout the series. Especially in this current landscape where there's plenty of mediocre manhwa coming out and getting barreled to the masses because of the rising popularity of webtoons, it's always nice to come back to a series which actually takes a lot of effort in writing their story and building their characters. At the very least, I can comfortably say it's on the upper echelon of storytelling when it comes to manhwa. Not to mention the character design and art, which is absolutely fire, is also a shame considering, you know, the reason why it got cancelled. On an even more personal level, I found myself sort of getting inspired by the character designs and their sense of style. I believe it improved my sense of style quite immensely just reading and sort of observing how the characters look, just in general. You know, just another level of connection I have with the series, along with the fact that it's like 90% of my channel fan base as well. And I mean, just continuing with this whole theme of style and influence, like this is not unique to me either. We've seen this sort of effect happen to the wider Windbreaker fandom. Like, how many times have you seen the modern mullet or the Jo haircut being referenced in like a one-off barber video, all for this decade-long run to get absolutely eliminated, axed, and removed from the face of the earth over the span of a weekend? Despite the pain of losing one of the most beloved series on the platform and just in the wider manhwa community in general, I think there's a key takeaway or a conversation that must be had with these situations with our favorite manhwa creators. And that, of course, would be the whole working conditions, work-life balance, and sort of the arduous deadlines that a lot of these manhwa creators have to abide by. Going back to Youngseok's statement, as we can see here, one of the main reasons he cites as to why he resorts to tracing other artists and their work is a life of constantly chasing deadlines week after week. And to be honest, this reasoning should come to no surprise to anyone that is deep into the manhwa, manga, and anime community, because we've seen plenty of artists take hiatuses or just straight up quit on a series because of these exact reasons. I mean, just try to remember back to any series that you have loved just randomly going on hiatus because the author falls sick. And I mean, this fact has been known in the community for a while. I mean, there's plenty of YouTubers that have covered this sort of issue with manga artists and manga writers, and just recently it's started to extend to manhwa writers as well after the popularity of manhwa sort of blowing up in the West. A study funded by the Republic of Korea Institute of Labor, Safety, and Health, performed on 312 webtoon writers, revealed a multitude of alarming statistics surrounding the mental and physical health of webtoon writers and the toll that the webtoon writing occupation places on the individual. The study found that webtoon writers were working more than the average Korean, clocking in at about 57.2 hours on average compared to 41.4. According to labor intensity scales, webtoon writers were reported to have an average score of 14.5, signifying significant levels of exertion. Webtoon writers were shown to have scored 4 times higher than the general population when measuring for depressive symptoms. Measures concerning labor discretion, or autonomy at work, consistently measured on the lower end. 47.7% of writers report that they never or rarely get the right to pause, 58.5% of writers report that they never or rarely get the right to adjust the number of cuts, and 67.4% of writers report that they never or rarely get the right to adjust the serialization period. I think we can see a very clear pattern here from the very few metrics that I pulled from the study. Webtoon writers and illustrators are shown to have increasingly demanding deadlines, extreme work schedules, and mentally demanding expectations from not only the audience but also the platform they are contracted to. Unsurprisingly, with webtoon writers and illustrators working under these conditions over lengthy periods of time, we're seeing more and more of them falling chronically ill. Of course, I am definitely the last person to be qualified for any sort of medical information. This is just a observation I personally made, especially reading the study that we just looked at. While I would never condone pretty blatant levels of plagiarism, I think this added information adds context to why such a beloved manhwa writer such as Youngseok Jo would resort to such underhanded methods in completing the Windbreaker series. The quicker we improve the conditions and are at least aware of the conditions of these manhwa and manga writers and illustrators, the less Windbreaker situations we'll get in the future. And apparently this whole tracing practice isn't exactly the most uncommon thing in the community, as you probably think. That being said, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and in the comments let me know your thoughts on the whole Windbreaker situation, and if you want to add any more information or background regarding it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And special note for Waffly, I know you've been looking for the SSS Revival Hunter video. That will be coming out very soon, so just look forward to that.
I love you.